Everyone knows Mr. Burns is the richest man in Springfield, but what if he isn't? For over 30 years, The Simpsons has been dropping clues, inside jokes, and subtle background details that all point to a wild, almost unthinkable possibility. Some of Springfield's most overlooked and unassuming residents might be sitting on fortunes that could give Charles Montgomery Burns a serious run for his money. We've dug through 3 decades of episodes, combed through the most persistent and detailed fan theories, and crunched the numbers to uncover the secret millionaires and maybe even a hidden billionaire that you never saw coming. You see, while Mr. Burns is the undisputed poster boy for wealth in Springfield, his fortune is notoriously all over the place. In 2007, Forbes magazine, in its annual Fictional 15 list, estimated his net worth at a staggering $8.4 billion. However, just 3 years later, the magazine adjusted this figure, listing it at a much more modest $1.3 billion, and at one point, he even fell off the list entirely, dropping to a mere $996 million after a series of disastrous business ventures, such as losing his entire fortune to another mogul in a scavenger hunt, and terrible investment choices in long-defunct businesses such as Confederated slave holdings and the transatlantic Zeppelin. In the world of high finance, that kind of volatility creates a power vacuum. It suggests that while Burns has immense wealth, it's not unassailable. And in a town as bizarre, chaotic, and unpredictable as Springfield, there are plenty of other characters who, through strange luck, criminal enterprise, or hidden smarts, have managed to build up incredible fortunes right under our noses. Today, we're pulling back the curtain and counting down the top 7 financial titans hiding in plain sight that might be giving Mr. Burns a run for his money. And trust me, you won't see number 1 coming. Part 1. The successful underdogs and business owners. Let's start with the folks who masterfully hide their wealth in plain sight, their fortunes disguised by their humble everyday lives. At number 7, we have Apu Nahasapeemapetilon. We primarily see him as the perpetually exhausted, perpetually polite owner of the Quickie Mart, but a closer look reveals he's far more than just a simple employee ringing up squishies. He's a shrewd and dedicated businessman who not only manages the store, but owns the Springfield franchise with hints at multiple stores. In a town with seemingly insatiable appetite for processed foods and frozen drinks, that convenience store is a veritable goldmine. It is mentioned that Apu takes his profits from the Quickie Mart and reinvests them in a store, a classic small business strategy for growth. Remember, Apu is a man with a PhD in computer science. He's no idiot. Before he settled down and had his octuplets, Apu lived a surprisingly slick bachelor life, filled with luxury items and impressive social calendar. He was born to a high-caste family in India. He was a student of the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, a prominent teacher of meditation, where he met Paul and Linda McCartney and formed a close friendship with the Beatles. His entire demeanor speaks to a man of intellect and ambition. While supporting his family of 10 with his octuplets surely added significantly to his expenses, his sharp business sense, relentless work ethic, and the sheer volume of customers his store serves could plausibly put his net worth could easily be in the high 6 figures to low millions. He's the embodiment of the immigrant success story, quietly accumulating wealth while serving his community. Coming in at number 6, there's good old Ned Flanders, the man next door. On the surface, he's the very definition of modesty and restraint. But don't let that unassuming green sweater and cheerful okely-dokely fool you. Ned is the proud owner of the Leftorium, a specialty store located in the Springfield Mall that he bought with his own life savings, so clearly Ned is frugal enough to save a fair amount of his income. The Leftorium, against all logic and Homer's direct ill wishes, has proven to be a surprising success. Sure, the memorable episode, When Flanders Failed, showed the business on the very brink of collapse, with Ned losing everything and his family forced to live in their car. But in a moment of guilt-fueled clarity, Homer rallied Springfield's left-handed community, which, it turns out, includes a surprising number of residents, like Mr. Burns and Mo, who then descended upon the store, buying nearly everything in stock and saving the business. Since that miraculous turnaround, the Leftorium became the go-to destination for Springfield Southpaws, until competing stores moved in, such as Left Mart and Southpaw Superstore. But these shops threatened Ned's profitability, and at one point we see him downsizing to a kiosk-sized store, only to see him in a full-size store a few episodes later with no explanation, so we can only assume Ned's success, and pulling through the challenges and competition. Ned also owns his impeccably maintained home, which is consistently shown to be filled with modern amenities and little luxuries like a pool table in his man cave. His home is clearly a significant asset. Frugality is a core part of Ned's persona. His quiet discipline, combined with a surprisingly successful and resilient niche business, makes it entirely possible that he's a secret millionaire. He is living proof that you don't have to be flashy or ruthless to be financially loaded. Finally in this category, and at number 5, we have Jeff Albertson, better known as Comic Book Guy. It's easy to dismiss him as a cynical, condescending nerd, but he's sitting on a gold mine. As the sole proprietor of the Android's Dungeon and Baseball Card Shop, he has a complete monopoly on Springfield's comic and collectibles market. This is a man with a master's degree in folklore and mythology. Yes, we mean that literally, who has translated The Lord of the Rings into Klingon as part of his final thesis. He's far more intelligent than his demeanor suggests, with an IQ of 170, a member of Springfield's Mensa Club, and knows the value of every rare item in his shop. But his biggest payday came in the episode Homer the Whopper when he created his own superhero, Everyman, an overweight superhero who can absorb the powers from any other superhero just by touching a comic book. The comic became a massive hit and was optioned by a major studio to be turned into a blockbuster film, with Comic Book Guy himself having the final say on casting. He chose Homer. The movie didn't pan out the way Comic Book Guy wanted, with him writing a negative review online of his own movie. The movie was not a huge hit, but a sequel was lined up, so it can't have gone too badly at the box office. The kind of money generated from a successful comic book movie franchise, merchandising, sequels, creative control, is astronomical. His catchphrase might be, "worst movie ever," but his bank account is likely saying, "best business ever." His estimated net worth could again be in the millions. Part 2. The Corrupt and the Criminal. Of course, in a town like Springfield, not all fortunes are earned through honest hard work. Let's pull back the curtain on some of our corrupt businessmen. Coming in at number 4 is Mayor Diamond Joe Quimby. His official mayoral salary is probably nothing special, likely a modest public servant's wage, but his actual income is a completely different and much murkier story. Quimby is the walking, talking embodiment of political corruption. The seal on his office wall even reads Corruptus in Extremis, which is Latin for, you guessed it, corrupt to the extremes. He's constantly seen on lavish taxpayer-funded vacations, taking him out of town for extended periods of time, cavorting with models and extramarital affairs, and living a lifestyle that his official pay grade simply cannot explain. His corruption is so well known that when he announces the mayor's office is not for sale in the presence of the press after shutting down Fat Tony's rat milking operation, everyone laughs at how ridiculous that statement is. His nickname Diamond Joe isn't just for show. It's a direct nod to his expensive tastes, such as the time we see him in a $5,000 fur coat. We've seen him not only accept bribes from mobsters, but also socializing with them at mob parties. We've seen Mayor Quimby embezzle city funds to build his own private swimming pool and fund holidays in the Bahamas while pretending to be in office. And we've seen him make policy decisions based on what will distract people from his corruption and get him reelected rather than what's good for the town, such as the time he blamed illegal immigrants for high taxes rather than his own corrupt spending. In one instance, he even admitted to using the taxpayers' money to fund the murder of his enemies, and he still was reelected. While his true net worth is buried under mountains of shady deals, backroom handshakes, and illicit transactions, it's safe to assume his corrupt dealings have made him one of Springfield's wealthiest and most morally bankrupt citizens. But for a truly staggering criminal fortune, you have to turn to the undisputed king of Springfield's underworld, our number 3, Fat Tony D'Amico. As the head of the Springfield Mafia, Fat Tony's entire operation is meticulously designed for maximum profit. From cigarette smuggling and illegal gambling to construction fraud and bootlegging, his criminal empire is both vast and incredibly profitable. We get glimpses of his operation at the Legitimate Businessman Social Club, the thinly veiled front for his vast network of illegal activities. He has his hands in everything, from supplying the school cafeteria with milk from rats to monopolizing Marge's pretzel business. Fat Tony lives in a sprawling mansion, wears expensive tailored suits, and commands a loyal army of henchmen including Legs, Louie, and Johnny Tightlips. His wealth, built entirely on organized crime, extortion, and intimidation, easily places him in the upper echelons of Springfield's financial elite. He represents the dark side of wealth acquisition in Springfield, a fortune built not on innovation or hard work, but on fear and illegal enterprise. Even after the original Fat Tony died of a heart attack, he was seamlessly replaced by his cousin, Fit Tony, who quickly gained weight under the stress of the job and became the new Fat Tony, ensuring the criminal dynasty continued without missing a beat. Part 3. The Showbiz Mogul. Now we're getting into the kind of money that starts to genuinely rival Mr. Burns himself, and it belongs to a man who is simultaneously one of Springfield's most beloved and most miserable figures, our number 2, Herschel Krustofski, better known to the world as Krusty the Clown. We all know Krusty has a long-running children's television show, but that's just the tip of a very large, very profitable iceberg. Krusty is above all else a merchandising monster. From the questionable contents of Krusty O's cereal to his chain of Krusty Burger restaurants and the dangerously unsafe Krusty Land theme park, he has slapped his face and seal of approval on practically every product imaginable. There are Krusty brand dolls, board games, home pregnancy tests, imitation gruel, and even a film company, Krusty Lou Studios, where Krusty the Clown is filmed. The episode Bart the Fink gives us a perfect and hilarious look into Krusty's finances. When Bart tries to get his hero's autograph by sending him a 25-cent check, he inadvertently exposes Krusty's illegal offshore bank account in the Cayman Islands, a classic tax evasion tactic of the super rich. The ensuing IRS investigation reveals the depths of his tax fraud, saying they are going to garnish his wages of 75% over the next 40 years. That must be a whopping income to be owing so much tax. His celebrity status gives him immense earning power, even if he is personally a terrible financial manager. He is prone to gambling, once making his live audience wait for him while he waited for his lottery numbers, and has many extravagant and self-destructive habits. He's also just straight up wasteful, once lighting a cigar with a $100 bill, another with a rare comic book, and another with a string of pearls. Despite his vices, he owns a massive mansion, has his own private plane, and lives a life of such decadent excess that it points to a fortune of astronomical proportions. Though he's a chain-smoking, deeply cynical, and unhappy clown, he's a chain-smoking, deeply cynical, and unhappy clown who could almost certainly buy and sell most of the town without breaking a sweat, with an estimated net worth of upwards of tens of millions, some even speculating $100 million. Part 4. The secret billionaire nobody suspects. But even Krusty, with his merchandising empire and hidden offshore accounts, isn't the biggest financial shocker on this list. What if the richest person in Springfield isn't a ruthless tycoon, a corrupt politician, a mob boss, or a television star? Who is our number 1? What if, against all odds, it's Homer Simpson? Stay with me here because this is one of the most compelling, detailed, and hilariously plausible fan theories out there, and the evidence sprinkled throughout the show's history is surprisingly strong. While the central running gag of the series is the Simpsons' constant struggle with bills and their distinctly lower middle-class lifestyle, there are huge unexplained financial windfalls that the show introduces and then almost never mentions again. First, let's think about the music royalties. In the classic episode Homer's Barbershop Quartet, we learn that Homer, Apu, Principal Skinner, and Barney were once members of the B Sharps, a Grammy-winning musical group that, for a fleeting moment, was as big as the Beatles. They had a chart-topping hit, Baby, on board, and won an actual Grammy Award. Even if Homer blew the initial cash on extravagant, foolish things, which is almost a certainty, he would still be collecting royalty checks from that song. For a song that was once a number 1 hit, those passive income streams could be substantial, quietly supplementing his meager power plant salary for decades. I mean, just in 2019, the Beatles reported earning $67 million in royalties, and they haven't made a song together in over 50 years. But that's not even the big one. The real smoking gun, the piece of evidence that elevates this from a fun theory to a legitimate possibility, is the Season 8 episode You Only Move Twice, when Homer temporarily has a job at the Globex Corporation. Homer did not work long at the Globex Corporation before wanting to move back to Springfield. His boss, Hank Scorpio, a psychopathic supervillain, but nonetheless a highly empathetic boss to his employees, gives Homer a parting gift: the Denver Broncos NFL team. Homer is vocally disappointed he didn't get the Dallas Cowboys, but here's the unbelievable kicker: the show never says what happened to the team. The theory posits that Homer, being Homer, simply forgot he owns an NFL franchise. As of 2025, the Denver Broncos are valued at approximately $6.8 billion. This single hilarious forgotten transaction could make Homer Simpson the true undisputed multi-billionaire financial king of Springfield, and he doesn't even know it. He owns a multi-billion-dollar asset, yet he's more worried about his next can of Duff beer. And if that colossal forgotten asset wasn't enough, the recent episode, Homer's Adventures Through the Windshield Glass, revealed another hidden financial safety net. And granted, this one is much smaller, but still significant. It's discovered that Marge has had a secret trust fund from her deceased father, paying her $1,000 a month for over a decade, which she secretly uses to bail the family out of their endless financial jams. So, while they live a seemingly hand-to-mouth lower-middle-class life, the Simpsons' actual financial situation is far more complex and secure than it ever appears on the surface. So, is Mr. Burns really the richest man in Springfield? The evidence strongly suggests that the answer is probably not. When you peel back the layers of this strange, wonderful, and chaotic little town, you find wealth accumulating in the most unexpected and bizarre of places. From the quiet, unassuming millionaire next door like Ned Flanders and the geeky comic book guy, to the deeply corrupt politician, the ruthless mob boss, and the miserable clown with a sprawling merchandise empire. And at the very top of that financial pyramid, you might just have the most unlikely and oblivious billionaire of all, Homer Simpson, a man who technically owns a multi-billion-dollar professional sports franchise, but is far more concerned about finding the remote control. The hidden financial secrets of Springfield demonstrate a fundamental truth about the show's universe. Wealth isn't always obvious. It's about forgotten gifts from benevolent supervillains, passive income from a one-hit wonder, and the pure, unadulterated absurdity that has made this town so iconic for over 3 decades. The truth, it seems, was hiding in plain sight all along. But what do you think? Is Homer the secret billionaire king of Springfield? Or is there another character, perhaps Sideshow Bob or another niche business owner with an even bigger fortune that we've missed? Let us know your theories in the comments below. Drop your own rankings in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more breakdowns. Thanks for watching.